What is up, guys? In today's video we are going to be using the AS44, this class right here, and I'm going to show you some highlights of it and stuff like that. And then at the end we're going to have the setup part where I show you all the attachments and explain what the class kind of is. So I would like to note that you want to use Beatrice as your operator because her favorite weapon is the AS44, so you get a boost on weapon XP and operator XP when you use that. So I would just use her as your operator. That way you can, be as efficient as possible when using the AS44. Okay, so we'll just show some highlights, some things I think are important about the class from a few matches. So yeah. Okay, so this first match is Armageddon on Shipmas. It is a blitz match, so it's like 7v7. So right there, I like having the rat as the secondary. That way you can pull it out when you start running out of ammo on the primary. But yeah, the primary does pretty good. It has a pretty high fire rate. Now, its recoil control is not necessarily the best, but it may look like it's a little uncontrolled here, and that's because my sensitivity was like really high for what I normally play with, because it's at 10. I normally run around 7, but I had it set up at 10 because I was running a knife class. But you can see that it can get some kills pretty well. Yeah, I like having thermite because you can stick the enemies, because it's like the only lethal I think in the game that sticks, because they don't have Simtex. So I like using that. So yeah, at the end of this match our number of kills was 23, and it looks like we had 15 deaths, so that's not horrible. So yeah, that's a ratio of like 1.5-ish, so not bad. And then this other match is Hardpoint on Shipment. Again, it's also blitz pacing, so 7v7. And yeah, this one, it's just more like the same type thing. The sensitivity was also on 10, so it's going to look a little shakier. But yeah, basically, if you mount the gun, it gets more accurate. I mean, that goes for basically every gun, but it gets pretty stable when you do it. I would say my biggest problem with the class setup is probably the magazine size, but if you can reload quick enough and find a place to do it, it's no big deal really. So it has enough ammo to get like double kills, stuff like that, so it's really not that big of a deal. So yeah.
The enemy is taking the hard point. Hostile recon in the air. Fire to the sky. New intel ready for report.
Okay, and then right here is a little kill streak where I got the guard dog. So yeah, it just shows off some of the better parts of the class, I guess. So it can shoot through the walls on crates and stuff, but I mean most of the guns can anyway. But I think in a second here I start to aim further off, and it starts to show how the gun can kind of be accurate at longer ranges. So like right there,
That's it for the intel. Orders ready to bracket. What a ludicrous display, people. Hard point confirmed. Enemy guard dog on the prowl. Guard dog on full. Hard point activated.
Okay, so right here you can see how the gun kind of pulls up due to the recoil, but that's not really that big of a deal if you kind of like fire in burst rather than just holding it straight down. So yeah, I would just try to do that. And yeah, see, so I like to carry thermite because you can always do stuff like that as well and put on some extra damage, because I just like the thermite. And then you can move around. It's a bit of a high mobility class. I think that round we came out with around 60 eliminations, which is pretty good. So this match here is where I'm running 7 sensitivity, and this is a match where I got like 108 kills or something like that. So it's much higher kill numbers when I had my sensitivity lower. So yeah, and as you can tell, it looks way more accurate. I think the other matches looked that way because the sensitivity was so high. So yeah, I like having the rat as a secondary. That's just because it's the one I'm comfortable with and have the most attachments with, really. Because I mean, it could probably be any secondary. That's just the one I have the highest weapon level with right now. And then right there I threw the lethal and got a bit of a kill that way. So you can do it. That's why I like having thermite. And yeah, Right there is another longer range kill, and you can see on this one it looked a whole lot more stable with the lower sensitivity than when I was running like 10 sensitivity. So yeah, I would just keep that in mind. With higher sensitivities, things tend to get a whole lot shakier. So yeah, but, you know, it's enough to get some good like multi kills and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good class. Okay, so there's going to be a few more of these little clips and stuff just showing how it works, and you know, just so you can get an idea of what the gun kind of is like before you try to do it or whatever, or if you want to do it. So yeah, that's just basically kind of how the gun works. And then after this, we will do a class setup portion where I explain what the class and the attachments are. So yeah. Like I said, this match I got like 108 eliminations. I have the full video of that up, so I'll link that. So yeah, but here's the class, the AS44. So we run the G28 compensator. Then we have nothing for our barrel. We have the slate reflector. We have the ZAC skeletal. We run gung ho, surplus. We have the rubber grip, subsonic, and the Carver foregrip. So yeah, I like to run that. But granted, I think a lot of these can be switched out for anything you prefer, really. So like I have subsonic on there, but it may not be the best one necessarily. I would think incendiary would probably be pretty good, because I've been using that with like LMGs and shotguns. It works very well because it does damage after you shoot them. So if they run around a corner or something like that, it still could potentially get you that elimination. So yeah, I just like to run incendiary, but it's a higher level attachment for this gun. So yeah, I was just running subsonic, I guess, to be a little more stealthy. But, you know, you could switch that out to whatever you prefer. If you like a larger magazine, I guess you can switch that on, but you do get lower, like I think mobility and speed stuff. So just keep that in mind. And then like the sight, honestly, I like the slate reflector. It's like 1.35, but I think all the 1.35 ones are probably about the same ADS and all that. So I think it's really just up to preference. So yeah, just use whatever sight you are most comfortable with. It doesn't have to be slate reflector at all. That's just the one I like. And yeah, I think the same thing goes with like those perks in like the bottom right as well. Okay, so the rest of the class, our secondary is the rat. So like I said, I like using it more than the others because my weapon level is higher. So I have the F8 stabilizer, lightweight trigger, I have FMJ rounds, grooved grip, and sleight of hand. Those are my attachments for my secondary. I don't like running a sight on my secondary, so if you want to, you can put a sight on yours. Like I said, you can set this up however you want it. It doesn't really matter. I think any of the handguns are probably fine. I would just say just pick one you're comfortable with and like it. Because I like running handguns over like launchers and stuff like that. So our perks are fortified. I like that because I've been playing shipment, and that has high explosive damage normally, so I run that. Then we have a radar. I like to use my minimap a lot, so that helps more people show up on the minimap. Piercing vision is also good though, because I've seen a lot of people use it, and I've used it some. You can see people through walls and stuff like that sometimes, so that's really helpful. And then I like using double time because it increases my sprint and like my crouch movement speed, because I like having high mobility. Scavenger's good though if you start running out of ammo and all of that stuff. So yeah. And then overkill, that's also potentially good because you can just carry a riot shield on your back, so then you can't get really shot from behind. So then for our like lethal and tactical, we have thermite and the stun grenade. You can switch those out to whatever you like. I just like the thermite. Then I would also like to reiterate that you want to use Beatrice as the operator because you get the weapon XP and the operator XP. So yeah, I would just keep that in mind. Okay, so there's like a higher mobility AS44 class that works out pretty well, I think. I've had success with it, so maybe you can find that as well. So yeah, let me know what other guns you may want to see class setup videos for and stuff like that. And yeah, expect more Call of Duty Vanguard content in the future. So yeah, thanks for watching.